Oh, yeah?
Yeah, besides.
Everything 50 cents in these bags. Now your normal 50 cent bags.
You got the money in the box.
You see the hand?
Yeah.
Or else they're going to get
Now actually I made it.
Do you have anything to sell?
Yep.
Oh, he has one staple.
Oh, he did give you the 5? Okay, great. Thanks.
He went out to the van to get it. Okay. Never get a chance to go.
Come on, Jake, just calm down. What number is it?
What do you need from me?
You don't have to take a meeting.
Battery. Come close. Okay.
Take the camera all the way. Come with me.
We both stay ready.
First day?
Second.
Well, it's $15 a piece.
So that way you just get my hair.
Oh, you need that?
I'm sure you will.
Okay, maybe step back just a little bit, Andy.
More? No?
Okay, we're rolling. What, you got the mic in? You getting level?
Yeah, why don't you cut the 10 if you would?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, so, what is the Indianapolis Comic Con? How long have you been doing it?
Okay, the comic book con or show is something that there was a need for in town. Nobody was putting on shows, and I've been doing it for 7 years, since 1987, January 1987. Moved a couple of times to different hotels, and it's been expanding. And it's a one-day show in which we try to get some really good guests in, like we just got Julia Schwartz and Murphy Anderson and Don Rosa today. And in the past we've had Shelley Moldoff and Rick Leonardi and lots of different good guests, Ron Friends. And I'm a fan, and I love comics and always have, and I try to get people that I'd enjoy seeing, and I try to make the show fun for people and not too intimidating. It's just a one-day show where a lot of dealers come and a lot of good deals are made, and some people to see and sign books, and kind of a user-friendly show. And that way I get to meet the people I like, and I get to have fun at the same time.
Tell us about the comic books in 1987 and how it's changed today.
Oh, sheesh. I think probably in 1987 there was more just DC and Marvel, and it was just the beginning of the small press market, and today there seems to be a lot more strength in the small press market, and people come looking for Valiant and Image. There also seems to be a rebirth in people looking for the Silver Age books, like the DC Silver Age books and the Marvel Silver Age books. Yeah, that seems to have grown as time is getting further away from that. So things have changed in terms of what's available, and people have changed along with it.
Tell us about the dealers that you have coming in. Where are they from? What are the influences?
Okay. We have dealers from all over the Midwest and even further away. Atlanta, Ohio, Illinois, especially, of course, Indiana. The dealers are very frequently people who have private collections and want to just sell them. but often there are stores who take 2, 3, 4 tables. So it's a mixture. The show started, it seems, with a lot more people who were just the person who had the comics in their attic or had been collecting for a while, and that's the way I started. I've just been a collector of comics my whole life, and I started going to shows, and when I moved here 7 years ago, there was no show being put on, so I thought, well, that's a good idea. Like, Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney, I'm going to put on a show. And that has worked out real well, putting on the show. And there was a real need for it here. And the dealers kind of run the gamut, like I was saying, of people who are very involved in comics to people who just do it as a once-in-a-while thing.
Has your involvement in making the show since '87, has there been a steady increase in interest and awareness, or is there an event that causes you to blossom?
It's been pretty steady, though there are times like I always send out press releases, and there are times when the local news stations will come here. Pretty often we'll get one news station or a radio station. For the last show, I was interviewed on the radio. There was one time, about 3 or 4 years ago, which I can think of as a Bellwater event, where they did a front page article in the entertainment section of the Friday paper, and that really drew in a lot of fans. That a third extra fans came to that show. And then it fell off a little bit, and it's been climbing steady, and this year it's been going up quite a bit. We jumped up another 100 to 200 fans per show this year, so now the show is drawing in about 800 to 1,200 fans per one-day show.
Hi, Willie.
Okay. I don't know if any of that's usable, but thank you anyway.
Okay, I'll get some more wild shots and we'll be done.
Okay, have fun.
It's sort of hard for me to know what to do because
how do you research? Do you go by what's been done before by other artists, or do you try to go
Foster
back?
is really influential, but a lot of it's just historical research.
Yeah. I wondered if
About a year before I began drawing it.
Yes, hi.
I envy you that. You know, Gil Kamen was working. He was working on telling
Oh, I like something like that.
writing.
Wait, has this got nuts in it?
After legends, so there's no round table, no enchilada or anything.
Which story is this?
What's that?
Which version is this?
Jeffrey of Monmouth.
I've heard it, but I don't. That's really fascinating. I bought a number of books when I see them.
I'm going to be there.
I'm especially interested in the old Welsh legends. So,
Well, I guess actually most of that did take place in what is now Wales, didn't it? Yeah, so that would be.
I'm going to be
I'm flattered that you think that way.
I'm not really thinking about
Very nice.
it. It's possible.
and on the back is a book
I'm still in
illustration
the,
I
I'm
just
still in
did.
the idea about it. I'm going around thinking about it.
yours.
That's yours, I got mine. Gotta get out of the way so you can sign.
Not much activity to worry about.
Nobody wants.
A little mundane touch there.
Well, it happened.
Oh, sure, working at home, you
You
can
wanna
always.
take this stuff out?
That's something that I used to have to fight all the time. Finally, they let me come to work at DC, gave me a desk, and let me come into work so I could get my work commitments done. Working at home is find yourself drawn into it just because you're there.
I'm looking forward to the time when I can afford a studio of my own.
Well, the studio itself wouldn't have done it for me. I've tried that route, but I don't have the discipline. When I'm in a situation where everybody's working around me, I work. I get my stuff done. And that was a neat thing about working at DC. I was strictly freelance, but they gave me a desk in the corner of the production department. And I could come in there and work every day. Nobody bothered me. I got a full day's work.
I'm going to lose it. I can sort of get a lose it. I know sooner or later.
Now wait a
You
minute.
can work in the newspaper.
Leave me here. I'll glance at him. Pick him up in a little while. Time to
They say that didn't really bother me as long as people weren't involved in it.
Yes,
The way
sir.
you came in.
Same thing.
As long as I was out of the line of fire, so to speak, and didn't get sucked into the office.
Where did you get this book?
I got it at a bookstore about 12, 15 years ago.
I'm really
I
impressed.
think the only story I had
Have
is
you got any
Last one.
last one.
anything in print?
Yeah, the first two books have been printed.
And who is this for? What's,
Caliber Press.
It doesn't have your
It's in,
name on it.
just outside of Detroit.
I've heard of it, yeah. Are you going to be at the Detroit convention?
Put my name on it.
No, I-
Put down editor, which I did it.
Really can't travel that much.
Yeah, well, Julie and I are going to be there.
Take a seat.
Be happy to see you. If you got
Take a seat here. Is anyone?
I was hoping I'd be able to have something for Mr. Schwartz to sign over here, but
technically, he doesn't. He had nothing to do
You're
with
here
it.
half an hour, you've
Well,
been
I know.
tired, you're sitting down. You're destined to spend 8 more hours here.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure he'd be happy to sign just anything that you have if you want.
Yeah. I'll sign that other page if you want.
That's okay.
Who would love to see it?
I'm gonna walk around down there.
I've been a fan for a long time. Signed some couple of books here.
You know, you can't find
Origin of the Atomic Knights.
not around.
You want to dedicate it or anything?
No, it's mainly okay.
You might be interested to know that this was one of the first jobs that my studio did, our color separations, when we decided to give up the government work and go into commercial work. I did the artwork, and I sold Simon & Schuster on the idea of us doing the cover totally. So they let us do the separations and the whole bit. This cover never really existed as a finished piece. It's just put together from a lot of elements. And we did it all in the dark room and did all the separations and stuff.
Wow.
We set the time for ourselves, did the whole works, and I adapted made it mysteries in space, you know.
Yeah.
And pull the whole thing off. It was kind of it was an interesting project. I think they were holding their breath. They didn't know if we could actually do it.
Because it was a startup company anyway.
Yeah, well, we had been contracting with the Army for 10 years, so we really knew how to do this, but to convince a commercial client.
You took PS magazine over from Eisner, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't take it over from Will. There was a 2-year interval there after he got off the contract.
Okay.
And I had worked with Will, and I wouldn't have done that to him, gone into direct competition with him for the contract.
You got minutes, take a look at it.
I didn't ever throw it in the trash. In that box, I probably had 2,500 of them. Huge box in my closet. And when I was in high school, my mom figured I didn't read them anymore, and they come around for pictures.
That was help you get started on the plan.
Are you sure that
Well, that's what some people say they want it on the inside. And I say, well, wouldn't you rather have it on the cover? Because then you can see it's Bob Overspeed says it's worthless.
See Swan in November in Kansas City. If you could sign oh, you are both going too? Oh, I could have had you sign it there. I was going to say sign to this side. So I'll leave that side for Mr. Swan.
I don't know if Julie was involved in this much or not. I'm sure he was consulted.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I had Julie sign my Showcase 8 at a show in Archon, and then I had him sign my Showcase 4 in Chicago the next year. So
you follow me all over the country,
yeah?
I'm going to be in Detroit next month.
He's going to be in Kansas City.
I'm going to be in Kansas City in November because I wanted to have Swan sign.
Why don't you save ourselves a trip? I'll sign it right now.
But he wants Kurt.
Okay.
I don't know what your involvement with this was, but I know you were involved in it.
Carmine decided we're going to do a definitive